Hello, and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk a little bit about sim racing. I know, man, I've been making these videos about like the cost of things and how sim racing is a money pit and how, the different sets of gear setups and stuff work out and stuff. And I want to reiterate, man, after spending $941, tomorrow's review day for the Fanatec DD. I'm not even joking, man. I have so much anxiety over buying that freaking wheel. But you're going to get to a point, man. You're going to get to a point as a sim racer where things are going to start feeling a lot more serious. You're gonna find experiences like Gran Turismo 7 in VR. Right now is, man, I sat here tonight. I came home from work, because I wanted to, because I'm gonna be doing like a CAMMUS versus Fanatec showdown type deal. I'm gonna make a video, talking about how the different experiences and how different or how much they compare. Like I do understand that the CAMMUS Direct Drive is a 15 Newton meter wheel, whereas the DD Fanatec Pro the GT Gran Turismo Fanatec Pro that I got is the 8 Newton meter version. I did get the boost kit for that, but I want to be fair and I want to be balanced when it comes to my coverage for sim racing stuff, because this is a money pit. And I don't want you to sit in FOMO every time I make a purchase like this or I buy something. I'm buying this stuff for me because I want it, things, the stars just lined up right, and I was able to go ahead and purchase that and, make that purchase, just bought it outright. Won't have to make any payments on it. That's kind of the thing this year. I stated before the beginning of this year that like the sim racing setup was getting upgraded. CAMMUS Direct Drive, CAMMUS, they sent out this amazing piece of equipment for me. And it's truly amazing. I love it. I love it so much that I cannot go back to a belt-driven wheel. Like, I just can't do it. I had it hooked up the other day. I had the Thrustmaster TX hooked up the other day, and I was playing. I bought the this little resolution thing that is right here somewhere. I bought this thing so that I could use that with my PlayStation 5, and I mean it worked for the most part. It did. I just don't have force feedback. I know there's some like running around and stuff that I can do to get this up and running. It should be able to work. I am gonna hang on to this because I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna switch out my the Thrustmaster T3PA Pro pedals and go with the Fanatec ones. At least not until I buy the Fanatec inverted pedals so that I can get those, because I really like the inverted. I really like these pedals inverted, and I don't necessarily have any desire to change that up. So right there, that's another $400 or $500 just for pedals that I'm going to end up getting. But I'm serious about this. Like, I'm serious about sim racing and wanting to really get into this and really start pushing the limits and really find out just where this experience is going to take me, and if I end up spending, more money on that, I will make cuts, elsewhere in stuff that I'm not going to do. But I'm already way under budget than I was last year. Like last year, I mean, I had already bought a freaking laptop for the channel for $1,000 that I was just like, okay. So I don't want you guys to like super worry about me just yet. Like just yet. If I come home with like a $10,000 sim racing kit, then you start maybe freaking out and being like, hey buddy, what are you doing? But I want you guys to understand the difference between, okay, so I kind of want you guys to understand the difference between a belt-driven wheel and, in my experience, a belt-driven wheel versus the direct drive wheel. All those videos I made when I first got it, like, I wasn't being hyperbolic or anything. I it really is like a sensory overload. Where the Fanatec, the Thrustmaster TX, I mean, it does have pretty decent force feedback. It's like 4 Newton meters of force feedback. Like, it's not completely terrible, but it doesn't. There's like that freaking dead zone. There's like it's such a it's almost like if you're gonna play it, you kind of have to turn like the force feedback like way down. If you have a heavy wheel, then because the way the belt works, it pulls the wheel, and I mean, like you still fight the wheel with a direct drive, but not anywhere near. It's like you'll be like with the Thrustmaster, like a belt driven wheel, you'll be like on the edge, and you'll be like, okay, and then like if you try to turn it back the other way, it's like super loose. It's like whoop, and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah. So like I feel like I was learning how to use a toy or a pref reel versus using something that pretty much out of the box conveys how you would feel with like driving a car. Like when you're driving on the road and you hit a bump or you kind of hit something, like you get those feelings, and it mimics the feelings enough that you can kind of feel like body roll. Not kind of feel, like you can feel things like body roll, you can feel your tires spinning on the ground, you can feel your car sliding, like all these different things that you can feel. Whereas the Thrustmaster, in my opinion, now that I've had plenty of time using this direct drive wheel, you kind of tell right off the bat, like right when you start with a direct drive wheel, you can literally feel so much more that it is kind of like a sensory overload. Whereas the Thrustmaster, especially on rally games, literally just feels like noise. It's just like just bumping around and stuff like that. And like every once in a while, like if you go off a jump or something, like you'll feel that in the Thrustmaster wheel. Like you'll feel certain things. And I'll tell you what, getting this Next Level Racing FGT cockpit and then setting that Thrustmaster TX on there, that greatly enhanced the experience that I was having when going from that play seat to that. Like that greatly enhanced that experience. It made it better. It made it feel better. It did bring out a whole lot more detail that I was missing out on the play seat that I was starting to get on the on the Thrustmaster TX. So when it comes to things like that, when you're wanting to be able to, like, if you're a multi-discipline racer like I am, where you're playing like GT, you're playing F1, you're playing rally games, you're playing, even arcade racing games, you're gonna have to, like, I feel like I was trying to learn and memorize so many different things. Like now I can already immediately tell that my driving ability on these experiences is getting better due to the fact that I'm actually able to feel and sense far more coming from the wheel than I ever could with that Thrustmaster. And I made a video the other day, and a couple of you guys commented on there saying, like, you kind of agree, but then, you're questioning, how I'm really feeling about the direct drive experience versus the Thrustmaster TX. A couple of you guys had commented saying that you're using the TX now and that you can get really good. And I don't disagree with that at all. Like, I don't disagree with that at all. Like, I've spent hundreds of hours on that Thrustmaster TX teaching myself how to use that wheel, basically, memorizing stuff and getting good, like getting good, like it's Dark Souls or something. When I initially first got it and I was playing Dirt Rally, so with Dirt Rally, I literally have to turn the force feedback completely off, like basically completely off, just to be able to use it. And other things like, on other rally games, you have to turn off, automatic recenter or recenter force, stuff like that, just because of the way it like it pulls. Like you'll go to turn and it'll kind of pull you the other way, and it makes the experience a lot harder. Whereas with the direct drive, man, I could crank everything up and I can go, and Like when the wheel when I'm turning and it needs to be loose, it's loose. I'll get that rumble. When I go to hit a turn and I'm sharp and I can kind of feel the car slide, I can kind of just move back just a little bit, kind of turn the tires, and it feels a lot more realistic when it comes to counter steering and stuff like that on gravel or any of the other things, any of the other surfaces, especially like the snowpack or something, in the snow rally stages. The offset for the counter steer, it feels so much more natural, like it would if you were in an actual car and you're steering, as opposed to like that Thrustmaster. There's like that degree of rotation up through the top and kind of to the side, depending. Like if you turn sharp, you're still waiting. By the time you're already ready to correct your oversteer, that motor is still trying, that belt driven motor is still trying to catch up to your next movement. And so when you're like you're trying to steer, you're like, oh gosh, it's not doing it right. And then you go back, it messes things up. So you have to, it's almost like you have to learn the track, and you have to learn things a lot more when you're using like the Thrustmaster TX, the belt driven wheel. Whereas now, like, things are just natural. Like I'll just be like driving, I'll be like talking and doing a lot better using that direct drive wheel as opposed to the Thrustmaster TX. So I get what you're saying, guys, when you were talking about that. Like, I completely understand, and it does make sense, because I too was able to get pretty good using the Thrustmaster TX. So I don't want anybody to think that that wheel is just complete garbage. I don't want you to feel that way. I mean, if that's where your budget is for sim racing, that's where your budget is for sim racing. And I did make a comment about the controller being better than the Thrustmaster TX, and I stand by that, because I blow my freaking times out of the water when I push it with the controller, with the Xbox Elite Series 2 being able to tighten up my joysticks. I can blow my freaking times right out of the water on that controller. So I stand by being able to do better with that controller than the Thrustmaster TX. Now, and I'm even a little bit better on the controller right now than I am with the direct drive wheel. I'm still trying to get a little bit better with that. I haven't really, I have pushed myself on a few runs in some of them rally games. Like, I have pushed myself and completely blew my Thrustmaster fastest times completely out of the water just on that wheel. So I haven't really sat down and like really tried to use the controller, use the wheel, use the controller, use the wheel with the CAMMUS yet. But I have with the Thrustmaster TX, and I destroy those times. I destroy those times on a controller. And there was a point where I was starting to get better to where I was catching up, and where sometimes I'd beat it. But it's one of those things where sim racing is, you have to think of sim racing as more of a marathon. If you jump right in and you just expect to be like much better on a wheel, as opposed to like, a lot of it really does kind of depend on the equipment you get. Like it does. And I've said this a few times in some of those videos, that ignorance is bliss. And I completely mean that. Like, ignorance is bliss. If you start out on a belt-driven wheel, you're going to think it's incredible. Like you are. Like, I thought my Thrustmaster TX was incredible because it was a major upgrade from the TMX and the T150 that I had. It was an incredible upgrade over those. I was like, yeah, I got way better force feedback and it's tighter. And it felt more... It felt funner to play. Like, it was much funner. It was a lot more cohesive. I could do things that I couldn't do on that T150. So I instantly thought, hey, this is better. But then I got this CAMMUS direct drive wheel, and my gosh, man, this thing here, I haven't even went past 50% power yet, because even at 50, man, it just there's just, the force is so good and so strong. It just feels incredible right there at 50. So, I mean, pushing out, I would, honestly, I'm going to be completely honest. If I had one of the aluminum frame cockpits that are a lot more, durable, I would test that more, but I don't see no reason to beat this frame up by maxing that out. and because it already shakes, like my TV and stuff already kind of shakes on there, like just at 50, on these rally games, like it gets moving. And so I'm like, woo boy. And just that amount of power right there is incredibly, like, wow. That's why, and that's another big reason why I went with the Fanatec DD 8 Newton meter, because I feel like 15, that's about half, 8 is about half. So I should potentially be able to, I should be able to compare them, at 50% power to max peak torque on the Fanatec DD Pro. Now, here's the thing, man. This DD Pro's been out for a while. I really didn't buy this wheel for the clicks. I didn't buy this wheel for the clicks. I bought this wheel specifically because it will 100%. I literally bought it out of necessity because it will be 100% compatible with my PlayStation, my Xbox, and my PC. Now, I do need to get an Xbox wheel for that to be okay, but I am looking at this. I am actually probably. I'm either gonna pick up the WRC wheel. That one's like $200, or I'm gonna get. But I need something that's gonna be good for rally. So that'll probably be what I end up picking up. But as it sits right now, the Gran Turismo wheel will probably potentially be good. I'll be doing like a full breakdown. I will 100%, like look at this product and give you my opinion on it, because $941 isn't exactly cheap, man. That's fair. I mean, like, for most people like that aren't into sim racing are gonna look at that and they're gonna be like, "Oh man, that's a lot of money to play like one game or something." And for that to be, um hold on, and for that to be something that you would want to pick up, like $941, man, that's a lot of money to just be like, okay, all right, especially without knowing. So there are plenty of other racers out there, other sim racers out there that have used these products, and that can give you a pretty good understanding of what they are. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, like, Fanatec's probably never going to send me free products. So I'm going to give it to you straight on this. I don't necessarily care. I don't really need these companies to send me free products. Like, I don't really care. Like, I'm self-funded. I got a full-time job. I don't do this for the money. I do this for me and for you, so that we can enjoy gaming. I buy the products that I feel are going to suit my needs. And yeah, dude, I do make a lot of stupid purchases, like buying this, trying to take the cheap, easy way out, because I didn't necessarily want to. I didn't want to end up where I'm at right now with the Fanatec. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Like, I did not want to end up here, but I know if I keep buying this kind of stuff, I'm just gonna keep nickel and diming and wasting money, and growing that sim pit, that sim racing money pit, the never ending bottomless pit that it is. I'm just going to keep throwing money away. So I just said, you know what? I talked to my wife. I sat her down and we talked, and I was just like, babe. And she's like, is this the one that you're going to need? And will you be happy with it? And I was like, I hope so. I really hope so, because, I don't know many other sim racing brands that are 100% compatible across all three platforms. And that's a big one, because that pretty much sticks you in Fanatec, man. Their products are not cheap. Their products are not cheap. And I've seen a lot of reviews saying that these are the best, like, these are some of the best things on the market you can get, except other than SimiCube or whatever the freak that is. But I looked at prices on those, and that's ridiculous, man. If I ever get to that point, they sent me one. You know what I mean? If I ever get to SimCube, that's because they sent me one. I have no desire to spend that much money on sim racing gear. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be the best. It'll be great. Blah, blah, blah. With my experience in sim racing, yes, the more you spend, it usually is a better product. But at the same time, man, you've got like this LG, and here's, oh man, the LG, the one that just came, or not LG, but Logitech, $1,000 for that. And then you got Gran Turismo or a Thrustmaster that's coming out with theirs. The one good thing about the Thrustmaster DD is it's compatible with all your old products. Like if you bought wheel rims and stuff like that, it's compatible, and that's a good thing. That's a bonus. I really do not like all the plastic that they used for that thing, especially for like $650 when this right here, $650, and it's like an incredible piece of a kit. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, they're like, yeah, we just got to use plastic so we can bring down the cost. And I'm like, no, man, you need to use quality products and sell me a good product at a good price. You know what I mean? Like if CAMMUS and MOZA can do it, like you can do it too. So I don't know, man. The one thing about this Gran Turismo DD Pro that I bought was, dude, it's like $180 just for the power converter to upgrade your setup. So that really sucks, man. It really sucks that you get freaking drug across the coals by these big companies that make this stuff. And I mean, I guess at the end of the day, if you don't have to buy another product, boom, that's good. But you are going to buy more products. You are going to get into these ecosystems. You are going to want more. You are always going to be feeling like, man, I need something else. Man, I need something else. You're always going to feel like your kit is incomplete. And then by the time you get it complete, you're going to feel like your kit is incomplete again. So I like sim racing. I never really wanted to invest like tons and tons and tons of money in it, but here I am, man. Like I've still got at least another $600 to $800 to go now that I'm in the Fanatec family. So that sucks. That sucks. But there you go, man. I'll get my inverted pedals. I'll get my my other racing rim, and then I'll end up getting my e-brake stuff so that I can play my rally games. Because I've never really thought about. I'd always just push the button or something. But as direct drive is getting so much better, it's getting to the point where I'm like, yeah, man, like I need to have the proper equipment to start playing this so that I can really maximize my experience and get much better. So that's basically what I wanted to say today. I love this CAMMUS direct drive wheel. I think it's incredible. The Thrustmaster TX got me through a lot of years, gave me a pretty dang good experience. So when it comes to the end, at the end of the day, when it comes to how this is, how sim racing is turning out for me, I'm happy. I am teetering on the edge of like, oh man, if this DD Pro doesn't turn out to be like the best thing I've ever used, I'm going to be kind of upset. I'm going to be a little upset. So that's the video, man. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really do appreciate all the support you've given me. I cannot wait to start making a bunch more Gran Turismo 7 PSVR 2 content with this wheel setup. It's going to be incredible, man. I can already feel it. I'm already blown away with GT7 on PSVR 2, so this is going to be cool. If you like I said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.